We are recording. We're talking about mindset this week. And I'm going to let Jackie go for it. I'm going to hit mute.
Okay. So I don't know if Lindsay introduced me at all or whatever, but my name is Jackie. So hi, you guys. I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to talk about this topic because it's been such a huge reason why I've had success in my business is simply just because of my mindset. I've been a coach for 2 years. Well, 2 years and like 3 months now. So I was an elite coach last year, and that was like a big, just getting to those different goals that you have. A lot of it is going to be your mindset shift and, you know, and what you're thinking every single day. So that's why I'm really excited because you're on the call. Can you just mute everybody? Because I can't hear. So for you guys right now, you're either trying to get to diamond, you're trying to get to star diamond, and you're going to come across struggles in your business. And if you don't have your mindset mastered, it's going to be really hard for you to, you know, get there and get to that next level, because what you're doing now isn't going to take you to where you want to go. You have to do more. You have to, you know, strengthen your mind. You have to grow. And you guys all know this because if you're here on this call, you're probably already doing personal development. But it's really about learning it and applying it to your life and to your business every single day. The biggest thing that I've learned in this business is that the only thing that sets people apart from being successful and being unsuccessful in this business is simply their growth mindset and consistent positive thinking. So it can be the one thing that takes you forward and gets you to 5-star diamond or to 10-star diamond, whatever your next goal is, or it can be the thing that just holds you back, where you get to diamond and then you drop back to coach. And it's really just because of your mindset and what you're willing to do to grow personally. I don't know if you guys have heard this before, but your business is going to be a direct reflection of how much personal development you're doing and how much you're personally growing. So it's really, I think the absolutely most important thing that you can do in your business is to grow. So you might think where you are right now is good, and maybe you didn't come into this business feeling like you had, you had a lot to work on personally. Maybe your life is pretty good. Maybe you're really happy. Maybe you're already naturally a positive thinker and you've had some success in your business, and that's great. But I want to warn you guys that if you're that person and you're not doing personal development right now, someday, whether it's a month from now, whether it's 6 months from now, whether it's a year or 2 years from now, you're going to come across a struggle in your business. If you've made it this far, you know not every single day is like roses and flowers. Every single day being an entrepreneur is not pretty. So crazy things will happen. You'll have coaches quit. You'll drop your rank. Maybe you struggle to hit Success Club 1 month. Maybe somebody tells you everything you're doing is a joke and it's a scam. Maybe that's already happened to you. But all that stuff, it could happen to you. And if you don't guard your mind now, you're not going to be prepared and you're not going to be ready to handle that and move forward with your business and keep growing. So basically, it's kind of like if you guys have, I don't know if you read The Compound Effect or if you've heard this kind of terminology or whatever, but they talk about the business as like you're pumping this well. So like every single day you're doing your 3 vital behaviors, you're inviting people, you're adding to your network, and you don't see results for a long time. It takes a long time, but suddenly you gain this momentum and things start to take off. It's the same thing with your personal development and your mindset. In the beginning, you might be like, oh, I don't need this. I don't need to read these, hooky pooky books or whatever. I don't need to do all of this. I'm good. I'm happy. But you're slowly but surely changing your mindset and becoming stronger every single day. And when that struggle comes up in your life or in your business, you're going to be able to overcome it so much better than you could if you weren't doing the personal development, if you weren't working on your mindset shift. So you've got to guard that. You've got to make that a priority. I see it happen to my coaches literally all the time. So I'll have coaches come in, they have a really great warm market. They're really excited about coaching. They become success starters. They go emerald really fast. And then one person says, this is a scam. Like, maybe it's their best friend that says this is a scam, like this is a joke or whatever. And immediately I can see a shift in their attitude. I can see a shift in their business, and everything. And some of them have quit because of that. And it was simply because they were doing all of the, actionable tasks or whatever, but they weren't doing personal development. And that's the first thing I ask them when they come to me with like a negative attitude, like, oh, maybe Beachbody's not for me. Maybe this isn't my thing. I did good at first, but it's just too hard now. Have you guys ever heard that from your coach? Because I've gotten that a lot. And I'll ask them, well, what kind of personal development have you been doing? And most of the time they haven't been doing it. So they haven't been guarding their mind to overcome any type of negativity in their life. And it's inevitable. It's going to happen. Things are just not going to go perfect as much as you want them to. We go through these struggles for a reason. Like now, being 2 years into the business, I can see every little struggle that I went through in my business is because I'm supposed to teach one of my coaches how to deal with it now. So if you're going through a time in your coaching business or in your life where you're just like, gosh, this is really hard, you've got to think of it as a learning experience, and that it's teaching you to be able to mentor somebody else and get somebody else through that experience in their life. So let me tell you a little bit about, kind of my background and like what my whole experience, with coaching and everything with mindset is. I'm not going to go into like, fitness journey and all of that, but just like the mindset part, because that's the topic of this call. So about, 5 or 6 years ago, I got married to my husband. We have a kind of crazy lifestyle, to say the least. My husband plays professional basketball, so we're actually in Russia right now for his career. We've lived in like 5 different countries in the past 6.5 years. And it's just kind of been a whirlwind. I kind of, in the beginning of our marriage, definitely like lost myself and who I was. I was not happy with, who I was. I wasn't happy with my career path. I wasn't happy with our marriage at the time. So many like negative thoughts were just always creeping in my mind. And I was always doubting myself and saying, well, I can't do this, I can't do that because of, our lifestyle, or I can't do this and I can't do that because of, whatever else I had going on in my life. So I definitely had, I didn't have a growth mindset. I had this very fixed mindset for a long time. And the way that I got to like kind of, that rock bottom point where I was just like, had gone into like basically a depression, and literally I had no reason to be depressed. Like I had a great life. My husband is amazing. My family is amazing. I had everything that I could have wanted, but I couldn't get out of like myself, like my own head. It was just my own head. And so I hit that rock bottom point and I said, you know what, enough is enough. Like I don't even want to, be living here if I'm not going to be happy and enjoy my life. So I kind of went on that, search for personal growth, I guess, if you want to call it that. And I picked up my first personal development book about, 4 years ago or something like that. And I kind of became addicted to just being better. And for me, the biggest thing that made me better was I picked up the Bible and I started reading the Bible. And eventually, about a year after reading the Bible every single day and reading a couple different personal development books, I got baptized again. I recommitted my life to Christ. And for me, that is kind of where like my whole journey with having a positive growth mindset began. And, if you're not a Christian, it doesn't matter. There's so many ways to like fuel your mind. Obviously, that, but that's just what did it for me in the beginning. And this is way before becoming a coach. So when I became a coach, I was already in a growth mindset. So I was able to come into coaching and be able to kind of take it by the horns and overcome my fears, because I knew I had kind of started training my mind already to think positively and to just love people kind of where they're at, because that's what I had learned from, reading the Bible. So after that, things just kind of became different when I started thinking positively. I became healthier. My marriage was like amazing. And then entered Beachbody. So my mindset was already conditioned to think positively. But I still had so many struggles at that point. It wasn't like I just came into Beachbody and things were like fine and dandy. I was still very insecure. I was still not confident. I obviously didn't know what I was doing. I was super shy, scared to talk to people. Like doing my first video was like literally the scariest thing on the planet. And Lindsay was there when that happened. And I was so afraid to do that. But I promised myself when I became a coach and I started Beachbody that I was going to do everything it took and I wasn't going to go backwards. And I knew in order to do that, I had to constantly be growing and I had to constantly be pushing myself out of my comfort zone. So I continued to train my brain on how to think the right way and how to think positively. I am like just by nature a super emotional person. I'm like that very Pearl personality where like I just want to help everybody. I want to save the world type of mentality. So when I had my first, encounters with negativity or people saying, my sister told me that this was a scam and she would never be involved, which by the way, she is a coach now and 2 years later. And, people just on social media kind of like mocking me or whatever. I cried, like I literally cried because I was so emotional. And that's just like kind of how my personality was or is. And now like that I've been training my mind every single day for the past over 2 years, like that stuff doesn't faze me anymore. I have so much more confidence. I have so much more just like purpose with where I'm going. So basically, once I became a coach, I dove even more into PD. I mean, I'm telling you, I was doing like PD constantly throughout the day. I still do because I know that's what drives me and motivates me is hearing other people's success and just training my brain to think right. So I'm constantly listening to audio. Like I have a daughter. She is 21 months old. So our life is very crazy and busy. It's really hard for me to get time to sit down at my computer. Like I had to get a babysitter to come over today just so I could do this because it's impossible for me to like sit down with, her running around. And so like, I understand if you're a mom, if you're working, that type of thing, like it's easy to make an excuse to not do personal development, but put it in your ear, listen to audio all the time. Listen to it while you're folding laundry, while you're doing dishes, while you're driving to work, while you're driving home from work. Figure out what works for you and do it, because the more you condition your brain to think the right way, the more your business is going to grow, the more you're personally going to grow, all of that type of stuff. So you really have to train your brain to think in the right way, and you have to do it on a consistent basis. If it's one thing that you don't do in your business, don't let it be like not doing personal development, because that's where you're going to, that's what's going to fuel the rest of what you do. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to be like this thing that like all of a sudden you suddenly think positive. You have to consistently work at it. So I've been learning about this concept called the owl brain and the wow brain. And basically what that is it's two different types of mindsets, two different types of people. And there's people who have an owl brain, and those people are basically moving forward through pain and angst. So these are people who maybe you have some coaches like this, who every little hurdle that comes their way, they feel like so much emotion, so much pain from it. And that type of thing. And then there's other people who have a wow brain who easily see the positive. They see all of these struggles in their life, and they're able to equate it to something positive happening later on. So they see it as a growth experience. They see it as a learning experience. And I've been able to recognize this in my own coaches, which is something as a leader that you need to do since I've learned about this. And I realized that, I used to have that owl brain, 5-6 years ago. I totally had an owl brain. And over the course of 5 years, I've conditioned myself, by the time I got to Beachbody, that I had a wow brain. And just like an example of kind of how that works is, so think about a baby. If you're a mom, you have kids, you saw your baby learn how to walk for the first time, and they went through all these trials. They fell like 5, 6, 7 times, 20, 50 times even, before they actually figured out how to walk. But at the end result is their mom picking them up and holding them and giving them praise and getting them excited about, what they accomplished. So they have no cognitive, thinking, because they're babies, of, that whole like falling and stumbling and that type of thing. But on the flip side, you have someone who is older, it's an adult, and maybe they have a hip replacement or a knee replacement, and they have surgery, and they're trying to learn how to walk again. So it's the whole new thing, a new experience for them. And a lot of those people, and I know this because I've been through it myself, and I worked in physical therapy for a long time. Most of those people, not all of them, you can tell the ones that have the owl brains, because they are the ones who, every time they come into the physical therapy office and you're teaching them a new exercise to get better, to get healthier, to get more mobility, they see it as pain, and they see it as, why me, and why did this happen to me, and my life sucks. I can't believe I have to learn how to walk again. This hurts. I don't want to do this. And I remember being that person. In college, I had 3 knee surgeries, and I remember every time going to my trainer and being like, I hate my life. This sucks. Why did this happen to me? Why didn't it happen to somebody else? I don't even want to be here. And that is kind of like where you have to recognize where your coaches are. Are they in that out brain phase, or are they in the wow brain phase, and really help them learn that they don't have to live their life like that. They can see the positive side and everything. Or if you're there, like I really challenge you to ask yourself, do I have an owl brain? Is everything in my life that happens, that might be negative, is it causing me pain and angst? Or am I seeing it as a growth opportunity and a way to just learn and grow and use it as an experience? So I challenge you to kind of think about that. Ask yourself where you are. And if you are in that owl brain phase, or if you have coaches that are in that owl brain phase, encourage them to start training their mind every single day. So how do you train your mind to think more positive? How do you train yourself to have that wow brain? And the things that I've learned basically is by setting short-term goals. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with like Dave Ramsey, but one of his things for like financial planning and getting out of debt is you should pay off your smallest debt first and then move to the next smallest debt and that type of thing. And the reason he says that is because it gives you these little wins. So you pay off that small debt quickly, you get excited, and you're ready to keep going and, keep doing all the, due diligence of like setting your budget every month and all that type of thing. So it's the same type of thing with this. So when you have these little tiny wins, every 2 weeks you're setting a new goal. In these 2 weeks, I am going to work out every single day. And these 2 weeks, I am going to do 10 minutes of personal development every single day. Like whatever it is that you're struggling with and that you need to improve on, setting short-term goals versus long-term goals. Obviously, it's important to have a long-term vision and know where you're going, but having those small, tiny wins throughout your business every couple of weeks is what's going to propel you to keep moving forward. So encouraging your coaches to set those short-term goals of hitting Success Club, getting to Emerald rank. If you guys can remember hitting those goals for the very first time, you got really excited and it energized you to keep going. And that's what you have to constantly do with your coaches, is give them those little wins, give them that recognition, that praise for signing their first coach, for getting their first challenger, sign up with a challenge pack, for making their first awesome post on social media. Whatever it is, it's got to be little wins every day, every couple of weeks that you're helping them encourage to get through and accomplish. So another thing that you can do is start recognizing when things aren't going your way, when negative things happen in your life. Like what do you think about? Are you thinking, oh, this sucks, my car won't start, my kids are going crazy, they're sick, this and that, my life sucks? Or are you thinking, you know what, I can take on this day. I'm strong enough. I'm going to figure out how to get my car started again. I'm going to call, somebody to help me get it going. Or are you bringing that negativity into your life? Because the law of magnetism is like totally a real thing. When you are thinking negatively and everything in your day starts off bad, it's going to continue to go that way. And just from, my own personal experience, when I talked about, how I was really negative and said, I can't do this, I can't do that. I was bringing more of that into my life. And that's why I wasn't seeing any changes. And the day when I decided, you know what, I'm not going to live this way anymore, and I started conditioning my brain, like all these awesome things started happening to me. Sorry, my husband keeps trying to call me. All these awesome things started happening, and that's when Beachbody came into my life. Sorry. He doesn't know I'm on a call. He's in Israel right now. Let me just text him and tell him. Okay, sorry. So that law of magnetism is totally a real thing. So start recognizing when you have those negative thoughts come into your life, and try and switch that flip every single day. And it just takes practice. It just takes you being able to recognize that it's happening and teach yourself like how to overcome that, and how to just change those little tiny thoughts in your mind that are, bringing you down. One other good thing you can do is like daily affirmations. So if you're somebody who is really hard on yourself or thinks negatively a lot, just writing, every single day down. And this is what helped me become an elite coach this year, was writing, I am an elite coach. I am an amazing leader for my team. And I picked like 3 affirmations that I wrote down every single day, things that I felt like I struggled with, or I was telling myself I can't do. And I would write it down like, I am this, I am that. And those 3 affirmations really helped me to just like put it down on paper and see like, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I am. So another thing you can do is just push yourself out of your comfort zone. So one more example is when Insanity Max 30 came out, I was like, oh gosh, like I always want to do like the new programs that come out, because I think it's really good for your business if you're taking part in like the launches and stuff like that and getting people excited. So when Insanity Max 30 came out, I was like, oh my gosh, I really don't want to do this program. Like, and I'm not like, I don't love, high intensity cardio, stuff like that. I've never done the original Insanity. This is going to be really hard. But I set a goal. I'm like, I'm going to do it no matter what. It's going to be hard as hell, but I'm going to do it. And I made that goal that I was just going to do it no matter what. And yes, it was hard. It wasn't something that I wanted to do, but it got me out of my comfort zone, got me great results, and it got me excited about doing, more things that got me out of my comfort zone. So speaking on a team call is another one. Like, ask your upline if you can speak on a team call. Host your own first sneak peek. Make a video sharing the opportunity. Whatever it is that is scary to you, you've got to do, because that's what's going to help you overcome your fears. And it's really just about putting that stuff into action and doing it daily and practicing it is what's going to help you overcome that fear and overcome just validate, like trying to get validation from other people. So last thing is, don't just consume the personal development. Don't just sit here and listen to what I'm telling you and then just do the same thing tomorrow that you've been doing. Really take the time and master it. Find a book that speaks to you. Find an audio that speaks to you and put it in your ears tomorrow or today or tonight, and start applying what you're learning and start actually taking action towards the steps that it's helping you to go, or where it's helping you to go. Because you can listen to all the personal development in the world, but if you're not actually taking action and applying it, and this is something that I learned from Bonnie Engel, who's the top 10 coach at the New Leader Conference this year. She said it doesn't matter about the aha moments. The only thing that matters are the action moments. So you have to take action. You have to decide that you're going to take action, that you're going to flip that switch in your brain, that you're going to start being more positive, that you're going to handle things with, you know, with a calming attitude with your coaches, with your customers, that type of thing. And just remember that every single stumble that you take along your coaching journey and your life, everything is taking you, it's not a failure. It's taking you to where you want to go, and it's a lesson for you. I have had so many crazy things happen to me on this journey. And I think the biggest thing, the reason why I never made them an excuse is because of that, you know, wow brain mindset. I always talk to Lindsay about this, but I was pregnant when I first started coaching. I was like 19 weeks pregnant, I think, when I signed up. When I went diamond, I was on bed rest in a hospital in Ukraine. Ukraine was going through this like revolution. So we were like nervous that, you know, something was going to happen in the country. And I was sitting here in a hospital. I had no internet or anything like that. But I still was like, you know what, I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to read personal development every single day. I'm going to, you know, when I do get home, I'm going to be like going crazy on my phone, like talking and messaging to people and, you know, moving my business forward. I never used pregnancy as an excuse. I never used being on bed rest as an excuse. And Lindsay has the same experience because she actually has a very similar story when she was pregnant with her twins. I never used having a baby as an excuse or whatever. But it was because I had conditioned my brain at that point, and I had learned to think more positively. And I had learned that it was all up to me, and whether my business failed or succeeded was because of my own mindset. So ask yourself today, do you have an owl brain or do you have a wow brain? And what do you need to work on? Are you someone who right now, if you're not a diamond coach, are you acting like you're a diamond coach? Do you have the confidence to go out and speak like you are a diamond coach? Because you got to talk, whoever you want to be, you got to become that person now, if that makes sense. You can't just, you know, act like an emerald coach and expect to get to diamond. You can't act like a diamond coach and expect to get to 5-star diamond. Are you being a CEO of your business? Are you all in? Or is this just a hobby for you? Like, these are all questions that you need to ask yourself to help you move forward to that next level. So that's all I have. Sorry if I talk kind of fast, but do you guys have any questions?
Oops, here we go. We have.
Oh, so the Owl and Wow Brain is from a guy named Todd Herman, and he does a training. I don't think he has a book or anything like that, but I'm just in his training program. It's called 90-Day Year. If you want to look it up, it is an investment in your personal development, but it's just a really cool concept that I learned from him. I do have some other like books, personal development recommendations for you guys if you want them. Obviously, like a really popular one is You Are a Badass. So I don't know if you guys have read that. The Compound Effect is really awesome, or The Slight Edge. They're both kind of similar, but I would recommend reading both of them. An author that I really like is, I think her name is pronounced Brene Brown. And she wrote The Power of Vulnerability, and that's a really, really good one. The Go-Giver is awesome. Highly recommend reading that. And then Failing Forward by John C. Maxwell. That's what got me to diamond rank when I was on bed rest, actually. Because that was just a really good one, because there's going to be times when you feel like you're failing, but really you're not failing. The only thing that's holding you back is your mind. And the only way you could fail in this business is if you quit. Bottom line. Like, if you keep doing your thing, you keep just slowly moving forward every single day, you're not going to fail. And then what's another good one? 9 Steps to Living the Life You Love. I thought that was a really great one. And then The Energy Bus is another really awesome one for mindset and positive thinking. All right, are there any other questions?
If you guys want, we can unmute you, or you can type them in the chat if you have any questions about mindset or personal development. Do you guys all do personal development? Yeah. When I was, I had twins, and I was on bed rest for 10 weeks, and I was in and out of the hospital like every other day, it seemed, sleeping overnight. And I was growing the wrong direction, right? Because I was having twins. And I hit Elite that year. I was thinking about this, and I was like, what did I do that I've never missed a month of Success Club? Like, I mean, and I couldn't, all I could do was shower, and then I'd have to go back and sit down. And I didn't even have a laptop at the time. I'm like, I ended up getting one because of the situation for Christmas, because my kids were born in January. And I'm like, what did I do? And it was personal development. It's what I did. I always had it in I had The Slight Edge, I think I was reading at the time. We were reading Failing Forward. I was reading every day, or I was listening to something on YouTube, and it just would say the right things that was like telling me, okay, it's not like, it looks like a big mountain to get to 2-star, 1-star, 5-star. But what it was just telling me, show up every day. Like, if you do this every day, if you talk to a couple new people every day, if you're adding new people, and here I am, like, where am I going to find new people, right? Because I was on my phone. I was like laying in my bed. What photos am I going to share that's going to inspire anybody, right? And it's fun when the time hop thing comes up, because I'm looking back and I'm like, what was I posting back then? What was I saying? What was I doing? And I was posting the personal development that I was reading, and that's what kept bringing people to want to work with me, even though I was laying on my, I couldn't show fitness for anything at the time. So anyways, it was just something that I was thinking about, like, what got me to, Elite, and what got me to, I hit 4-star all in that time, literally in the hospital. I was signing coaches. It was ridiculous. Like, first of all, my kids were in the NICU, so they weren't in the room for me. I mean, I was kind of laying there healing, so what else did I have to do? But like, it was all still happening because I had my head in a book or in some audio that was giving me the right fuel to my brain that reminded me every day, if you keep this up, things are going to explode for you. And here I am today I've been Elite 4 years now, and I hit 11-star, all because it's not because of something massive I did. It's because I just showed up every day and did little things, even on those days when I wanted to sleep and not do anything. So hopefully this little bonus tip for you guys to help some of you who are trying to like push to that star diamond level, and you're like, what is the holdup? It's all and the thing with recruiting and finding those diamonds on your team. We were talking about this. We have a new coach who hit diamond on our team who was like, I already have 2 people canceling this week, and I just hit this goal. And I was like, that's the thing. That's the thing with your rank, is the people who get you to diamond aren't going to be the people who put you to Elite, per se, if you will, or to 5-star. It's going to be every day, like, who wants to jump on this train with me? Who wants to join my team and ride with me to the top, if you will, of my own top? Like, whatever your top is. It doesn't have to be top 10 or Elite, but whatever your top may be, 6-figure income, or I just want to get out of my day job, or I just want to pay off whatever your top may be. Your goal is you're looking for people who want to jump in the car and ride with you to the top. And yes, people are going to jump in and then they're going to jump out. And you're going to be like, you were amazing. What's going on? Why are you, you're going inactive on me. Stop it. That's why we're constantly like, failing forward and reading these books that are like, so what? Keep going. And that's how you grow to that star diamond level. So just a little bonus tip for you.
Yeah, and you'll start to notice that the more you develop yourself personally, like the people in the beginning of your business aren't going to, like she said, aren't going to be the people that take you to, 5-star diamond and beyond. Like, the more you grow yourself personally, and I don't know if this sounds bad, but like the better people you're going to bring into your business, because the better you are, like, that's the kind of person that you're going to start attracting. Yeah. So the more you grow, the more like, people like you're going to start attracting into your business.
For sure. It's interesting to look back at the first, so one of the things that I was like, I was trying to figure out a couple coaches who had gone diamond, lost diamond, gone, and I was kind of like, what is going on? Like, I was trying to analyze this, and I realized like they weren't growing with me personally in personal development. I can just feel it. I could tell like they are not growing themselves, and they're staying back where they were when we started, and we were like, what are we doing, and who's doing what, and where do I place what, and I have to read a book. When you're starting out and you're like, why am I reading this stuff? I don't understand. But you have to grow. And even now, going into 2016, I'm like, okay, I gotta grow. In order for me to get to the next level, I have to grow, and I have to figure out, like, I have a business life coach, if you will, who just keeps me growing because, at some point I just was like, I need someone kind of in my ear to keep me straight and in order for me to grow. And so it's interesting, those people that some will grow with you and stick with you from the beginning, and some are just going to kind of be there and fall behind. And it's all about that growth with your personal development. It's crazy, but it's so like the top elite, if you will, or the star diamonds, they're just, they said something about when you hit diamond, your personal development time needs to step it up. You need to give it more time. Like if you're sitting and doing a power hour, I would have YouTube or something in your ear the whole time. And then, and you're in the morning and when you go to bed at night, you're looking at like, I remember some of the top coaches were saying like they would spend 2 hours reading, just reading, because you need that much fuel in you to be able to handle and grow, a really large business, dealing with different people and being able to grow yourself. And I feel like the more you grow into a leader, you start to handle more challenges that really break you, and you deal with more people, and sometimes they come at you with some very draining things. It was funny because my mom was asking me like why I don't ever, like, how I pick my times and stuff with people, and I'm like, well, sometimes if someone comes at me with a completely draining life, blah blah blah, at me, and that happens, it happens, then I'm like, I don't talk to anybody else today. Like that just completely sucked me of all my energy, right? And then I don't want to go out and invite anybody because I just got my energy sucked dry. So that's why, be protective of what's going in those ears. Be protective of, I guess I would say the messages. Maybe answer your coaches at the end of the day so you can get through new people first, because then you can handle whatever they're gonna, throw your way. And it's not often. I mean, but it's part of growing a big team. It just comes with the territory and opinions, and not everyone's gonna agree. And that's the cool part about having your own business. But personal development will keep you straight.
Exactly. I was going to say like almost the exact same thing. Like I always do personal development first thing in the morning if I can, because I've done it before where I'm like, oh, I'm going to go on social media. I'm going to answer some of my messages. And then something hits you, maybe it's a really bad no or some problem with the coach or whatever. And it just ruins, that your whole mindset for the day. So start your day on a positive note. And that's going to, prepare you to handle, those no's and everything that you might come across in those messages or your emails or whatever is happening for that day. And another thing that I wanted to add really quick is just make sure you're doing the right personal development for you. Like I got into this thing where I'm like, I bought a book and so I have to read it. That's going to be the next thing I read. And I would start reading this book and I'm like, this is like, I'm just reading it, like just to read it. Does that make sense? Like it wasn't really like registering with me. But I still felt like, well, I got to read it because I paid for it and I bought it and it's the next one on my list. But like, don't feel like you have to do that. Like, because that's not going to, bottom line is it's not moving you forward. It's not going to help you. And I realized that, you have to read the books or the audios or whatever that are speaking to you in that moment. So you might not be in a season of your business where that's helping you. Maybe later on it will, but don't feel like you have to do that specific personal development if it's not helping you at that time in your life. So really make sure that you're picking the right personal development for you. And if you don't, don't feel like you have to stay there. Like, find something that is going to work for you.
For sure. Cool. Any other questions? All right. Well, I hope you guys are crushing your business activity tracker and bringing on new people. Like I said, if you're pushing for 2 or 5-star, whatever your goal may be, February 17th is the day you want to be qualifying for the bonus if you want on the April bonus. So just to give you a little goal, one thing I did when I pushed 10-star, which I hit last year, I would set it I would be like, okay, 217, 10-star qualifying. And then it would come and I'd be like, okay, not happening. And some people can be so deflated and defeated by that. And I wasn't, because of personal development. And I was like, here's the theory, is if I just keep working at this, it's going to hit at some point. And it might not be till 2016, but it'll hit. And then it'll be great. And like, that was just my thinking. And wouldn't you know, like, it hit in the 3rd quarter. I think it was the 3rd. Yeah. So right after Summit, it all came together. But it was just every quarter, first quarter, I was like, okay, I need to hit it by whatever the date was. And then I would just keep moving the date, and I just kept working at it, instead of feeling defeated by, oh, I missed the date. And that was how, I was able to, now I've hit it, and it's cool to be, I guess what I'm trying to tell you is you will get there, but you got to just keep every day. It's every day, those little tasks. Oh no, don't let them paralyze you. You have to set a date, and you have to shoot high. Because when I shot I was like, oh my gosh, I could do 11-star diamond. I could totally do that. I see it coming. Like everyone, you can kind of start to see if you're going to 2-star, like you can start to see things are starting to move, and coaches are starting to move a little bit, and some won't move. Some won't move beyond 4 or 5 coaches. They just won't move because they won't grow, and some will. And the more coaches you bring onto your team, the more opportunity you have to have some move forward. And so with the deadline, I remember I was like, if I shoot high, I was a 6-star or something like that. And I was it was like 6, 8 qualifying, 6, 8 qualifying, and it kept doing this thing. And I shot for 11 because I totally started to see it come together, and it fell on 8. And it was cool because it wasn't a new bonus or anything, but the reason you rank advance is to show your team it's possible. It's a big part of why you want to push to the rank. Yeah, you're going to get a second business center. Yes, you're going to get a bonus for you, but you're also showing your team that you're moving to the next level, which showing them possibility. When you get to Summit and you get to walk on the stage and you get to, do all those things, and they're like, oh, wow, that's my coach. If my coach can do this, I can do this, because she's going to tell me, she's going to show me how to do it, right? So that's a big reason why I pushed for 10-star. It wasn't so much, I just want the bonus. The bonus is cool. It's cool, but it's also to show my team, like, hey, if I can do this, you can do this. Not to have them just see a couple top coaches and shining lights over on this other team, be like, I don't know how to get there. It's impossible. So that's a big piece of what does it. And I just shot for that goal, and then I fell. So I feel like the quote, shoot for the moon and land on the stars, always works. And you just have to be okay with the failing forward of it, because you will get there. So I failed for 365 days pushing for this goal. So it took me a year. So you understand, like, it didn't just come like that. It looks like it, but on the back end, there was, there'd be like a coach that, this, diamond would pop and then they'd fall apart. And this other diamond would pop and they'd fall apart. And it was a lot of just, work. A lot of, just really bringing people together and working on it. So anyway, I hope that's kind of a helpful tip as you are trying to move forward with big goals. Oh, okay, cool. Yes, for sure. Personal development. So Denise was just saying that she was attacked by somebody for no random reason. And yeah, a lot of when you guys get attacked or you get negative stuff, it's their problem, not yours. So don't own it. The one thing I struggled with in the beginning was I owned a lot of drama that people would come at me with. And I thought it was my fault, and I would lose sleep and everything. And my coach was like, you need to stop owning the drama. Like, stop it. It's not your problem. They're just venting at you because you're there and you're being a friend. Stop owning it, you know? And so I've had to really grow from feeling, I still, like, it's, you analyze your coaches, you're like, wow, you could do so much. What's wrong with you? You know? It's just one of those things that you guys have to, it's their thing. They have to come to their own grips with it. And all you can do is just keep growing and growing. And as you grow, you're going to attract people that are just going to run with you, you know, and you're going to be like, oh, this is fun. I like this. This works, you know, stuff like that. It works just like that. Yep. Bliss and release is a great, great goal. So cool. Any other questions? Nope. All right. Well, thanks, Jackie. That was awesome. We got it recorded, so we'll post it if anybody missed this. I hope you guys have an awesome week. Keep pushing, keep growing for your goal. And we will see you next week. I forget what the topic is. I think it might be recruiting, which is what we're all after, right? All right, y'all. I hope you have a great week, and we'll see you guys in the group. Oh, bye.